Today I'm going to show you how to set up and perform the cable reverse fly. The bauble that is actually under here, I'm going to make sure that that lines up with the top side of my shoulder. Main reason we want to do that is because of the plane of motion that it's going to put us on. We want to be pulling from high to low to get the most out of our rear delts. A lot of the time when people perform the reverse fly, they stay in the same plane of motion, which is usually pretty high or just in line with their shoulder, which looks like this. So if you're pulling straight across from here, you can see the wrist isn't dipping that much. So what that's going to do is yes, it is going to engage your rear delt, but it's also going to bring in a lot of upper trap. So if we want more out of our rear delt and you want to be feeling the rear delt and where this exercise is supposed to be felt, you're going to go on a high to low plane of motion. Once you've got the bauble, you're going to be one arm's length away from the machine and you're going to extend your arm out. It's not going to be completely locked, and instead it's just going to have a slight bend to it. Once it's got that slight bend, lock that position in and then do not move from there. The first starting position is going to be in line with your sternum, and then all you're going to do is drive the elbow down on that plane of motion. So it's almost going from high, and if I can do this front on, it's going to go from high just above my shoulder where it starts from to low, pretty much in line with my lats and sort of armpit area. Doing that is going to make sure that you're getting more out of your rear delts and the upper traps aren't going to want to push up or take over the movement. So the elbow positioning is going to directly affect the rear delt more than the wrist position. So what I mean by that, the wrist is going to stay in the same place. But if the elbow moves, now as I pull, it's going to be a lot more forearm and I'm going to feel a lot more upper trap because the elbow is going to be the one that is directly affected by the rear delt. So if we use the elbow as the main driving force, you're going to feel a lot more through the rear delt as opposed to driving through the hand. So from there, I'm not focusing on where this goes. I'm focusing on where the elbow goes. So as long as the elbow goes on that plane of motion, everything else will follow. And that's where you're going to be finding that the exercise is going to feel a lot harder and you're going to feel it in your back a hell of a lot more. So what I mean by that is if I drive with my hand, when I start to fatigue, I'm most likely going to get to about here, and then the hand is going to do a tricep extension and get it out there. That's where you're going to find that if you do use your triceps a hell of a lot through this, most likely what is happening is as you come through, you're then tricep extending, and all it's doing is that movement from this plane. So that's why I focus on the elbow being the main driver, because if that starts to fatigue, at least I know that I'm fatiguing the rear delt as opposed to just doing a tricep extension on this plane. One arm's length away, starting in line with my sternum in the middle of my chest, and then I'm driving that elbow down to finish it around my armpit. When you get rid of this, hand through the carabiner, let the bauble go, and then it clicks back up. That way you're not going to pinch your fingers, it's going to be a lot safer. And that is your cable reverse fly.